Madison Nygaard.
Good morning, Ms. Nygaard.
Good morning.
Currently, how old are you?
18.
Now, back on April 16th of 2016, how old were you?
16.
And back at that time, who were you living with?
My mother.
Now, I want to back up one day or one night. April 15th, 2016, I think that's a Friday night. Do you recall what your plans were that particular night?
To go to a party.
Now, had you arranged any type of transportation to get you to and from?
No.
All right. Now, the initial party you went to, where was it?
Green Creek.
You say Green Creek, you're talking about the road, or is there a house named Green Creek?
The road.
The road?
Yes.
Now, that particular Friday night, did you consume alcohol?
Yes.
And did you smoke marijuana?
Yes.
Now, were there any other drugs involved?
No.
All right. No other drugs besides marijuana?
Nope.
If you can recall, Ms. Nygaard, do you remember what you were wearing that night?
Jeans, striped tank top, and a black pullover.
And this is going to sound like a funny question, but do you recall, if at all, you had, or what color your nails were then?
Purple and white.
All right. And the type of shoes that you had on?
Like slip-ons.
Do you have any socks on?
No.
All right. Now, was there a plan, or did you have a plan on how you were going to get home that particular night?
Yes, my friend Jake was supposed to bring me home.
Your friend who?
Jake.
Jake?
Yes.
And was Jake at this party with you?
Yes.
Now, as it came time, and I don't know, I mean, how long, just so we get kind of a reference, approximately how long did this party go on for?
I can't remember. I was there all night.
You were there all night?
Yeah.
So we're not talking about a couple hours?
No.
Several hours?
Yes.
Now, at some point in time, and I don't know if you made a decision, or was there a decision made that it was time to go?
Yes, I asked to go.
You asked to go?
Yeah.
And you were going back where?
To my house.
All right. Now, your original plan, this Jake fella that was going to take you home, did that pan out?
No.
What happened?
His friend had locked himself in the car with the car keys, and we tried waking him up, and he wouldn't wake up.
Okay. Was there any other method or transportation method that you had?
No.
All right. So what'd you do?
Started walking.
Now, were you familiar at all with the area?
No.
And did you have any other, besides your house, did you have any other relatives that lived in the area?
I knew my friend Jalen lived kind of close by.
Jalen lived close by?
Yes.
And any other relatives? Aunts, uncles, grandmas?
No.
No?
Not that I recall. No.
All right. Now, when you left the house on foot, were you with someone or by yourself?
By myself.
And do you recall at all, Ms. Nygaard, whether or not it was nighttime or daytime?
The sun was coming up.
The sun was coming up?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes? All right. Now, the other important question I have for you, since you admitted to drinking some alcohol and smoking some marijuana, were you drunk at all
Yes.
when you were walking home?
No. I was sober by then.
Were you feeling the effects of marijuana? Were you high?
No.
And as you were walking and the sun is coming up, do you recall what direction you were walking in?
No. I know, out of the party I took a right.
You took a right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're walking, you're not sure if, let me not assume that. Are you aware of whether or not you're going in the right direction to get to your house?
No.
At some point in time, do you come in contact with somebody?
Yes.
Who?
A guy on his bike.
Okay. And what was your question to him?
I asked him if there was like a gas station or something nearby, and he told me I was going the wrong way. Then I asked to call my mother, and when he got on the dial pad, the phone died.
His phone died?
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, did he indicate whether you were walking towards something or not?
He told me I was walking towards the lake.
All right. Lake Michigan?
Yes.
So, you attempted to use this person's phone.
Yes.
It went dead.
Yes.
How are you feeling at this point in time?
Irritated, sad, lost.
Okay. What'd you do?
Walked back the way I was coming from.
Okay. So you essentially turned around and started walking back in the direction you were walking from. Now, as you're making your way back, are you aware at all of what road you are on?
No.
Okay. What happens next?
Jeffrey Willis pulled up.
Okay. Now, did you know Mr. Willis?
No.
Did you have any idea who he was?
No.
And this is, I guess, described for the jury. Is this, you described the sun was coming up. What's the conditions at this
It
point?
was bright out.
All right. And did Mr. Willis approach you on foot?
No.
How?
In his van.
Now, could you describe with the van, please?
It was silver van.
All right. You see that? You see that photo?
Yes.
Does that look like the van that approached you on that early or that morning?
Yes.
Now, when the van approached you, what side was closest to you, the driver's side or the passenger side?
Passenger.
All right. And did this vehicle stop?
Yes.
Now, when the vehicle stopped, what happened?
He rolled down his window and asked me if I needed a lift.
Okay. And were you interested in getting a ride or something else?
To use his phone.
Okay. And what did you ask of the defendant?
If I could use his phone.
And what, if any, was the response back to your question?
Yes, I could use his phone. Just get in.
Get in where?
To his van.
Now, when was there anybody else besides the driver in the vehicle?
No.
Any other human being at all?
No.
How about animals, dogs or anything?
No.
Now, ultimately, what did you do?
I got into his van.
All right. You get into the van, and what happens next?
He rolled up the window and locked the door. And I asked him, please roll it back down. I didn't mean to be rude to him. And he rolled it back down. And then I had asked him to use his phone, and he told me his phone was dead.
Okay. I'm going to stop you right there for just a second. Now, did you actually see a cell phone before you got in the car?
Yes.
Where was that?
On the seat, the passenger seat.
Okay. So, as far as you were concerned, there was a cell phone for you to use.
Yes.
And when you got into the car, where did that cell phone go?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Did the driver ever give you a cell phone to use?
No.
At any point in time?
No.
And if I understood your testimony, you were told that it was dead.
Yes.
All right. What happens next?
So I told him to let me out, and he just stared at me and slowed down.
Okay. Now, did you at all indicate where you were going or where you wanted to go?
To my mom's house.
Okay. And did you give kind of a general direction or an address or anything?
No.
Now, as this van is moving, does it turn somewhere?
He took a left.
Okay. And do you know what street that was?
Not then.
No. Okay. When that left turn is made, what's going on in your mind?
That's when, as he was turning left, is when he told me his phone was dead, and that's when I told him to stop the car and let me out.
And at any point in time, did the vehicle stop?
No.
I mean, even slow down to a point where you could safely get out?
No.
What happens next?
He's just staring at me, and I'm asking him to please stop, and he goes underneath his seat and pulls a gun out.
Okay. Now, I want to stop you right there for a second. Are you a person that knows a lot about guns?
No.
Could you tell it can't be an airsoft gun? Is that still your impression?
No.
Why?
Because there was evidence that he tried shooting me.
Okay. I'm sorry.
There was evidence that he tried shooting me.
Now, did you see anything else besides the gun itself?
No.
All right. All right. So, when you jumped from the vehicle, what happened?
I started running.
All right. Well, let me back you up one step. Before you started running, did you just kind of land on your feet and then start running, or how did that happen?
I stepped out and then fell on the ground, and then got up and ran.
Okay. And as you are running, do you get another look at this individual?
Yes, I turned around and looked at him.
All right. And what's going on when you do that?
He was standing behind his van with his gun aimed at me.
All right. You sure about that?
Yes.
Do you recall, or are you saying anything?
I asked him, please don't shoot me.
Were you worried that was going to happen?
Yes.
Do you recall at that point in time whether or not you still had your shoes on?
No, I don't. I don't think I did, but...
You don't remember whether or not?
I don't remember.
Okay. And do you recall at that point in time whether or not recognizing or seeing that you'd been injured?
No.
All right. Ultimately, where do you run to?
A girl's house. A stranger's house.
Did you know this person?
No.
And what happens when you get to this house?
She was outside and she let me come in. She opened up her door a little bit so I could come in, and I ran in and I told her someone was after me and to call 911.
Okay. And did this woman in fact do that?
Yes.
Now, at some point in time, do you recall actually getting on the phone with dispatch? Talking to the dispatcher?
Yes.
All right. Now, eventually, do the police, or the sheriff's department, I should say, do they come out to your location?
Yes.
And do you recall talking to the deputy?
Yes.
All right. And ultimately, do you recall talking to a detective named Matt Schultz?
Yes.
All right. Do you recall this at all?
Yes.
What are we looking at here?
I call it a little netted basket in the middle console.
All right. And was that present when you were picked up on April 16th, 2016, in this van?
Yes.
Okay. And if you recall, is there any significance as it relates to that? I mean, was there anything necessary or that drew your attention to that netting?
Not really.
Okay.
If I remember.
Okay. Ultimately, did you realize that you'd been injured?
Yes.
All right. What are we looking at in this photograph?
My forearm.
Your forearm?
Yes.
And is that how that injury looked the day that you jumped out of that van?
Yes.
What are we looking at in this photograph?
My backside.
Okay. And again, does that represent how your injuries looked on April 16, 2016?
Yes.
Okay. What are we looking at
My shoulder.
And again, does that photograph depict and represent how your injuries looked on April 16, 2016?
Yes.
What are we looking at in this photograph?
I think that's my backside again.
All right. Is that just from a different angle or different view? Or is that
Same one.
Same one? Okay. Again, does that represent how that looked on April 16, 2016?
Yes.
Now, I think you indicated that you were wearing multiple or multicolored or different, I guess, white and purple nails.
Yes.
Does that look familiar?
Yes. My pinky nail.
Your pinky nail?
Yep.
Anything look familiar in that photograph?
My shoes.
Okay. Now, in your conversations with either Deputy Blackmer or Detective Schultz, did you provide to them a description of, let me finish my question. A description of the individual who was driving the van.
Yes.
And a description of the van itself as to the best of your ability.
Yes.
Now, at some point in time, you recall Detective Schultz providing you with what we call a photo lineup to look at.
Yes.
Okay. Is that the photo lineup that Detective Schultz provided to you?
Yes.
And under this particular picture right here is, well, I guess, tell me who put your name there?
Me. You?
Mm-hmm. So you, is that
yes.
a yes?
Yes.
So that it's printed and then it looks like a signature as well.
Yes.
And those are your, that's your writing?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And the picture you put your, I guess, printed and signed your name, was that the person that you told Detective Schultz had picked you up and pointed a gun at you?
Correct.
All this incident that you described, did that take place here in Muskegon County?
Yes.
Good morning, Ms. Nygaard.
Good morning.
Remember me from last trial?
Yes.
Okay. Ask a few more questions, probably the same questions.
Okay.
Okay. You mentioned going to a party that night.
Yes.
And that the party lasted the entire night.
Correct.
And that people were smoking marijuana and drinking alcohol.
Correct.
But there were no other drugs there.
No.
No methamphetamines, no cocaine,
No.
nothing else.
No.
Okay. At least not that you saw.
Yeah, not that I know of.
Okay. But how many people were there at the party? Do you recall? Coming and going?
Probably like 50.
Okay. And can you explain to me what happened to you, the ride you expected to take you home?
Yeah. Me and my friend Jake, he had a friend Chaz. We were all hanging out, and Chaz wanted to go take a nap, I guess. And he went into Jake's car and went to bed and locked the car, and he had the car keys with him.
Did anyone try to wake Chaz up?
Yes.
And what happened there?
Me and Jake tried pounding on the windows. He was not waking up.
So you came with Jake. Did you leave with Jake?
I didn't go there with Jake.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
You're fine.
Okay. Do you know how did Jake leave the party?
The cops woke him up the next morning.
Okay. At the party location of the
Yes.
party? Okay. You said there were about 50 people there. Did any of them have cell phones, do you know?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Did you ask any of them to use their phones so that you can call for a ride?
No.
How far did you think you were from home?
I didn't think too far.
Okay. How long was too far? A mile, 2 miles?
Thought it was probably 10 minutes away.
Okay. By walking?
Yeah.
Okay. And about what time was it that you decided to go home?
I don't know what time it was.
Was the sun up at that point?
When I started walking, the sun was coming up.
Okay. How long did you walk before Mr. Willis came upon you?
I don't know. Long time.
A long time?
Yeah.
Hour? 2 hours?
Probably a few hours. A couple hours. Yeah.
Okay. And you never decided to go back to the house and try to use the phone there?
No.
And you said by the time my client found you, you were sober?
Yes.
All right. Do you know how much you'd had to drink the day before?
I don't remember.
You know how much you'd had to smoke?
Don't remember.
Was this something that you were used to, or was this a new experience for you on that occasion?
I have smoked and drank before.
Okay. And you found that you were able to handle yourself under those circumstances?
Yes.
Okay. Did I ask you when was the last time you slept before you met with Mr. Willis?
Probably the night before.
So more than 24 hours?
Yes.
Okay. And is there a reason why you decided to walk alone as opposed to walking with somebody else who was at the party?
They both fell asleep.
But there were more than those two guys there?
No, by the time I was leaving, it was only them there.
It was just the two of them?
Yes.
And it was your choice, rather than to stay with them, to walk on and try to get home by yourself?
Correct.
Now, when Mr. Willis offered you the ride,
Yes.
correct, you mentioned that you got in the car, and as he pulled away, the door and the window locked and rolled up?
Correct.
Did you see him doing that, or was that something automatic in that car? Was that something the car does when it goes in the drive?
I didn't see him doing it, but...
Okay, but it happened?
Yes.
Okay. And when you asked him to roll the window back down, he did that?
Yes.
And when you asked him, told him that you wanted to get out, he slowed down. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. But before he stopped, he never stopped while you were in the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
But he did stop when you got out of the vehicle?
Yes.
All right. And you mentioned that, in fact, there was a question I couldn't hear. You mentioned that there's evidence that he tried to shoot you. You remember saying that?
Yes.
Was that something that you knew at the time, or was that something you were told later?
Told later.
I remember being asked to describe Mr. Willis, and they did a drawing of him.
Yes.
Did you ever see those drawings?
I haven't saw them, no.
You never saw those drawings?
No.
Okay.
Besides that day.
I'm sorry?
Besides that day.
You
I saw it that day.
Oh, that's what I'm asking.
Oh, yeah,
Did
sorry.
you see the drawings that day?
Yes.
And what did you think of the drawings?
I thought they were good.
Okay. Ma'am, are either of these I'm sure you was marked proposal exhibits A and B, are either of those the drawings that you saw?
I don't remember what they looked like.
You don't remember what they looked like?
Mm-mm.
Could they be
No.
the drawings that were done at the time?
I know this one wasn't.
This one was not.
No.
Which one was that? A?
Yeah, A.
Okay. Would B be a possibility?
Yes, it could be. I have no clue what it looks like. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
That's okay. Could you point to the one that you picked out as being Mr. Willis? The first one, right on
Yes.
top. All right. Notice anything different between the drawing that potential A, that proposed exhibit B, and the photograph that you picked out?
No glasses.
I
And
guess I'm going to object, knowing full well when that drawing was made and when that picture was taken. There's a big difference there. And certainly, Your Honor, we're talking about a time period in 2016 versus a time period in 2013. So I don't want the jury to be misled by this testimony.
I don't know the basis of the objection, Your Honor.
It's misleading.
Well, I think the jury can sort out things at the time. So I'll overrule the objection.
What's the difference in time? How long this was taken? This was done the day of the incident, correct? The drawing B, exhibit B.
I didn't do it the day of the incident.
When did you do that?
I don't remember. It was
Within a week, 2 weeks?
I don't remember.
Okay. And how long after the incident did you see this photograph?
After I signed this, or
Is there a date on there, Ms. Becker?
no,
Okay. Do you remember how
but that's
long?
that's the first time I ever saw this. Is when I signed it.
Okay. How long after the incident was that?
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
Okay. Can you give us a guess as to how much time between the time that you made this description and you saw that photograph? Do you have any idea? Weeks,
couldn't.
months, years?
I know it wasn't that long.
It wasn't that long between them?
Yeah, it wasn't long. Not months.
Not months?
No.
Okay. So weeks, perhaps?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, do you remember testifying that there was something different about that gun that was pointed at you?
They had like an orange cap on it.
Okay. Is that still your recollection? That it had an orange cap
Yes.
on it? Did you ever hear any gunshots that
No.
night? Ms. Becker, thank you very much. I don't even further questions.
Just a couple follow-up, Judge, real quick.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, Judge, I don't think the proper foundation has been laid. This drawing seems to be dated 4/27 of 2013. So that's 3 years before the incident. I'd object again as misleading, and it's not certainly not the drawing that she would have described.
Your Honor, I withdraw the motion at this juncture while I do that.
You done, Fred?
Yes, I have.
Ms. Nygaard, would you agree with me that trying to describe somebody and have them draw it, is that easier or actually seeing a photograph of the person?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, what?
It is. It's easier seeing a photograph of it.
All right. I mean, Did you hesitate at all when you saw the individual in the photograph that did this to you?
No.
Was there any doubt in your mind?
No.
All right. I want you to take a look at People's Proposed Exhibit 24. You recognize anything in that photograph that you may have saw?
The gun.
And?
Let me point to it up there. The orange cap right
The
there.
orange cap. Could you point just on the screen? So when you were describing an orange cap to Mr. Johnson just a minute ago, does that look like
Yes.
the orange cap you saw?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. Nothing else.
Now, did you see an airsoft gun that night or a real gun?
I saw a real gun.
As far as you know.
I thought it was an airsoft gun.
Okay. So now you think it's a real gun because that's what people are telling you?
Because there's evidence that he tried shooting me.
And someone else gave you that evidence, correct?
Yes.
Yes, I got to ask one more question. Sorry. So did you jump out of the car because you thought there was an airsoft gun?